Hello and welcome. Yes, this is our inaugural Barstewards cooking podcast, Cook on Sunday. And for those of you that haven't listened before, myself, Lee Keys, John Leng, Nick Davis, and Chris speak on a podcast called The Sunday Sermon. We did this out of mental health, covering the topic of horse racing. But a lot of people found our food advice and hints and tips rather useful. So we thought we would do a podcast solely on food, just for you. So if you're a new listener, we hope you enjoy this satirical approach to cooking good food and some top tips from our boffins, particularly John and Nick. Certainly we'll have some great ideas on this show going forwards. So we hope you enjoy, and we appreciate any feedback. If you listen to this on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. It will help us become more popular as a food review show. Welcome, gents. Obviously, my name's Lee Keys, the host. John Leng, you're delighted to be doing this culinary experience on a podcast.
Well, I find it far more interesting than racing. And I've been stuck doing racing for 4 years now, so I think it's high time we branched out a bit.
Sure, Nick and Chris, this is different for us because we started for mental health reasons back in the day and bad period of life that everyone seemed to go through. And I think it helped us all and helped our listeners, more importantly, see the funny side of life and what can be very stressful times, especially given the current climate at the moment. And so are you two raring to go for this show?
Horse racing, good food and humour goes together, don't they?
Absolutely. This is all about meeting people. And what better way to start episode 1 on the Sunday roast, chaps? Because the Sunday roast, to any American listeners, we're the world connoisseurs at the Sunday roast, I believe. And we're going to highlight this to you throughout this show. So the old Sunday roast, this is simple, staple, meat and 2 veg, few Yorkshire puddings, chaps. John, what's your ideal Sunday roast? You've got lamb, you've got pork, you've got beef, you've got chicken. What do you like as an ideal Sunday roast?
Well, personally, I would never look beyond beef.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of all meat, but for a proper Sunday dinner, I would want beef, and I favour the rump cap as a roasting joint.
So you're going to have to explain that to people like us, microwave and Piers film led here.
Like me, it's proper dip.
Yeah.
What's a rump cap, John?
Come on, tell us.
You'd have your normal piece of rump that a butcher would take off the carcass.
Yep.
Top side and slightly to the right of that, there'd be
the penis. No, it's not
that.
No. So we're learning all the time here.
That's further down.
All right, okay, carry on.
Like diagonal membrane, if you like, dividing the meat, and the top corner of the whole rump has a triangular shaped piece of meat on there that the butcher will happily whip off the entire rump for you, and that has a good covering of fat on it, ideal for roasting, and that piece is called the rump cap. If you go to an Argentinian or Brazilian steakhouse, it would be where they would obtain the picanha steak from.
Ah, yeah, I've heard of that. When they come round the all-you-can-eat Brazilians.
Yeah.
Well, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right, we're talking about cooking, are we? Okay, that's cool, yeah.
But you're still in the all-you-can-eat Brazilian, aren't you?
So it's a completely different show here. Okay, now I understand.
Yeah.
So it's called the rump cap. That's what you ask the butcher for, yeah? And they know what that is. And
That's what you ask the butcher. If you say, put me a rump cap about 2 kilos,
yeah,
that would be pretty much the whole cap from the entire rump.
right, that's good. So I've learned something there. So rump cap, yep.
John, what would you recommend if you haven't got a butcher's around? Supermarkets and meat don't really go together, but what would you go for?
If you had to get supermarket meat.
I think I would probably try and just get a piece of sirloin.
Right, okay.
Yeah, sirloin of beef, yeah.
Yeah.
That does roast particularly well, sirloin, I feel.
Yeah, failing that, I'd actually go to the cheaper end of the spectrum and get a piece of brisket rolled, give that a long slow cook.
Yeah, beef is an arm and a leg nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got very expensive lately.
I like this rump cap idea, right? This has got lots of fat on it, so I presume, John, that was you roast it, soaks into the meat.
Yeah, if I'm cooking a rump cap, what I tend to do, I'd start it off in the frying pan.
Yeah.
I'd get the frying pan warm, I would put the meat in, fat side down, and I'd happily spend half an hour rendering all that fat out into the pan.
Yeah.
So you're getting a lovely golden crispy finish on the fat. and then you'd invert the mate, what's left of the fat's on top, and put the whole thing in the oven, 180 degrees, probably about 50 minutes a kilo. So you're talking an hour and 40 minutes for a 2 kilo piece, with a proper rest at the end of that time, say 20 to 30 minutes. That should give you a lovely pink finish and really tender cuts of meat.
John, just for those of us who eat with our hands, how important is it to render the fat? And for those that don't know, what does rendering mean? How do you do it?
Basically, you're melting the fat.
Right.
Because the rump cap would have a fairly thick cap of fat on it. You get that down so what's left on the top of the meat is golden and crispy.
Right.
So you put it in the oven, obviously, you would salt and pepper that really well, and the rest of the joint. You invert it, you pop it in the oven, and then that fat that's still in the bottom of the pan, you've got that for basting. You can keep basting your joint.
I get you.
Every 20 minutes or so.
You put it fat side down in the roasting tray in the oven.
To start with, in the frying pan. But when it's going in the oven, you flip it the other way up so the fat's on top.
Perfect. Gotcha. Thank you.
So we've established the cut of meat. I want to know John's perfect Sunday roast, what he likes accompanying it. So, John, I presume you like your roast potatoes round the meat in the oven.
I like my roast potatoes. There's nowhere better than round the meat, especially if you render the fat from the joint, because you're doing them in beef fat then.
Yeah.
The biggest thing to remember with roast potatoes is the pre-boiling. You would never put the potatoes in the tin raw.
No, never.
The rule of thumb here is boil them until you think you're 30 seconds away from potato soup.
Right.
Okay.
You've got to be bold and brave with this. And the longer you can go till they're absolutely just dropping to bits and ready to crumble all over the place, that is when they go in the fat.
What do you go to the mixture of mustard powder and flour if you toss those before you put them in?
I've had it before. It's pretty nice. What I tend to do, I would boil them before the tin's ready, and I dry them out in the fridge once I've taken them out of the water. And then the only thing I put on them myself is salt, right at the very end. I don't even season them when they're going in next to the meat. I just season them heavily with salt when they come out at the end.
So we've got some great tips there on roast spuds round the meat and some seasoning there. So what I want to come to next, do mashed potatoes belong on a Sunday roast?
Well, not for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Some people at Christmas dinner have a mixture of mashed potato and roast potato, don't they? I've never myself.
No, I don't be opposed to it, but I don't personally think they add anything to it if you've got roast potatoes.
I do enjoy the double dip. I do enjoy the roast and the mash.
Double dip. What's that about?
Well, the double dip of spuds, isn't it, really? But the producer, Jess, she's got one of them potato rices, I think you call them.
I've got one of them.
They come out as smooth as silk. They're
You never go back after you use them, do you?
No, absolutely not. The texture's fantastic. So that might be worth a small investment if you fancy some top mash rather than the bought stuff, because the bought stuff is no good, I don't think. Make it from scratch, put a good knob of butter in, etc., etc. Add a bit of salt. And
if you like mustard, put mustard and parsley.
That sounds good, yeah.
Yeah. I think the producers sometimes added stuff into it.
Yeah, it's arsenic she puts in yours.
In mine, yeah. She's usually upset with me several times a week. So.
Weed killer, yeah.
No, she likes the minty mash. Again, it's everyone's taste, I suppose.
Of course.
This is another key question now. Half rejecting the mash on the Sunday dinner plate. What are we saying vegetable accompaniments before we come on to the Yorkshires, John? I know you've got a top tip on Yorkshire puddings, which I think's amazing because it converted us and we get some corkers of Yorkshires thanks to your tip, which is coming soon for you new listeners. But what veg belongs on the plate? How do you sort all your veg out? Roasted veg? Is it boiled?
There's a rich and varied selection of things you can have, really. I'm quite a fan of mashed suede myself.
I do. I like that. Yeah.
Since I started doing that in the microwave, I've never looked back because it's a bugger soaking water up, is mashed suede.
Yeah.
If you do it with no water in a bowl, in the microwave for about 20 minutes and then mash it, it's absolutely fantastic. And a little tip, if you put a teaspoon of English mustard in it when you mash it up and plenty of white pepper, you'll never go back to having it just as it is.
Because you're right, it takes on water, doesn't it? It's like soggy tissues. No matter how much you mash, it always retains water. That's a good tip. That's
The mustard's a lovely addition. It really brings the flavour up. You only want a level teaspoon. You don't think it'd be enough to make a difference, but it makes a massive difference.
Mm.
I like that. I also like creamed cabbage with bacon.
yeah.
Again, it's a long and laborious thing, but it's well worth it. You finally shred the cabbage, you put a knob of butter in a pan, you slowly sweat the cabbage down. You add some crispy bacon bits, and then a swirl of cream at the end. Absolutely delicious.
You say slow. How slow is slow?
You wouldn't have the hob on a high light, you'd have it on a medium heat, and I would say for a whole spring cabbage shredded, you probably expect to be stood there for 20 minutes.
Okay.
And basically what you're doing, you're getting all the water and the acidic content out of the cabbage.
Perfect.
So you get that lovely sweetness, and again, just liberal pepper when you got it down to that state, and then add your bacon bits and cream. And the other things I quite like are broad beans, where I would blanch those before peeling them. It's a laborious process, but the skins need to go if you're doing a proper Sunday dinner, I think. I can get away without peeling them if it's just for myself, or if I'm having guests, I would peel them. And then I just dough them in an oven butter and a couple of tablespoons of water, just heat them through. And finally would be the carrots. I get some good sized carrots. If I was doing this for best guests, believe it or not, and I would just cover them in Cinzano Bianco.
Leonard Rossiter.
Yes, and Joan Collins.
You remember the Cinzano, yeah?
Yeah.
The contents of a vanilla pod.
Ah.
If you once have your carrots like that, you will look forward to the next time you're having carrots like that, I promise you. They're absolutely delicious.
John's had a wrong life, really.
Yes.
He's been into racing all his life. And some of this stuff is making me
A
starving.
wasted life, some might say. I think he's wasted his life worrying about horse racing. He should have been a chef.
This man has ideas. This man has some quality stuff.
Creativity.
Yeah, okay, John, let's finish the plate off with the Yorkshire before we
Yeah.
come to Nick's idea on a different style of Sunday roast.
Yep.
Honestly, this is one of the best life tips I've ever received off anyone. It's how to get the perfect Yorkshires to rise and to rise up. A lot of people struggle with them, but John just knows. So, John, take it away. Perfect Yorkshires.
Well, in an ideal world, you would make the Yorkshires the day before.
Mhm.
And depending on how many you're catering for, say you want a dozen Yorkshires, for argument's sake, you would put the same quantities of eggs, milk, and flour, volume-wise. So if you're putting a cup of flour, it'd be a cup of eggs and a cup of milk. Season it liberally. I prefer doing it in a food processor because you don't get any lumps. And then in the fridge overnight.
Right.
When you're ready to put your Yorkshires in, you line your tins with beef dripping preferably, but obviously if you're vegetarian, cooking oil is perfectly acceptable. And before you put the actual mixture into the tins, while they're heating up, separate an egg, put the white of the separated egg into your mixture, give it a final blast with the food processor, and then you're ready to put the Yorkshires in and fill the tins just below the brim, pop them in a hot oven, and just watch the fun explode as you go. You can almost see them rising.
Yeah, and the producer can verify this. We had some proper elephant's feet. They were absolute belters. If you follow John's advice to the letter, I promise you, you will not go wrong with creating fantastic Yorkshire puddings that will be the envy of every single neighbour that comes round.
Yes, they'll see it through the window as they drive past, won't they? These huge Tower of Pisa exploding out the oven.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
And if you don't eat them, you can just throw them at people outside and they think, fucking hell, it's like a rugby ball. But yeah, John, tremendous tip. That certainly it's one of the best that we found that works. So John's superb rump cap, let the fat seep in. And some great veg advice there as well. I love the start of this show, and I'm sure if you're listening for the first time or you regularly listen to the Barstewards, you'll find some of these tips more than handy. On to Nick now, because Nick, I think you've got another idea for an ideal Sunday roast that you like.
A lot of my domestic issues, especially in the early life, was caused by myoglobin. John, I know what it is. Do any of you two?
Is that what you call it, Nick? I didn't know they called it that.
Well, it's resting juices.
One of your problems, yes.
Yeah.
One of your
Yeah, one of them.
Your juices have been resting for many a year, Nick.
all around the world, yeah.
Anyway, my wife thinks it's blood. So the only beef I do now is short rib because she comes from the old school. Boil everything to death and cook everything, must be undercooked. Remember back in the 70s, women used to have hair that never moved. I mean, the hairspray was toxic in those days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Brezhnev and Carter negotiated it away in salt too.
Yes.
Everyone looked so old then. I went up Blackpool once, Illuminations, and honestly, Medusa would have been a solid 7 there. It was horrible.
Yeah, well, that's still Blackpool, though, isn't it? Christ.
Do you remember the old football players back in the late 70s,
Oh,
early 80s? And there was this one fella, they said, and he's about to retire today at the age of 34. And they put a picture of this player up that were retiring. He looked 65.
Yeah, everyone looked really old.
Ralph Coates he had this comb over that was,
Tremendous.
Anyway, we've gone off the subject a bit.
Yes,
anyway.
we have. Yeah. We've deviated.
Short rib beef is an easy cop out.
What is short rib, Nick?
It's just short ribs of beef, which have to be cooked for a long time.
Right.
It's so easy to do. John will agree that if you're a bit of a novice cook, beef sometimes you can easily overdo it if you're busy away somewhere. And there's nothing worse than tough beef, is there?
No.
Some cuts of beef are tricky to get right if you're going to be leaving.
They say beef at the supermarket, they buy it, they overcook it, and they think, oh, that's a bit horrible. It's so
Tough as
dry.
old boots. Because I always overcook beef. In fact, I would say I don't think I've ever got beef right. It's no matter what cut I buy, you always sole your boots with it. So I'm presuming that overcooked too high a temperature or what? Because it's always tough.
Yeah, not resting enough as well. This one is easy to do.
Right.
You put this in a Dutch oven.
Yeah.
You brown it on a slow temperature first after you season it, maybe a little bit of flour.
Mm.
Don't brown it too much, just a nice little golden colour all the way around. Take it out.
Would you brown it in the frying pan, Nick?
I'll brown it in the Dutch oven.
What's a Dutch oven? Because we could be dealing with total novice.
Raymond van Barneveld.
No, it's not that at all.
It's like a great big heavy pan that you do a casserole in. And
Got a cast iron type job.
I've got a cast iron one.
Fine.
Saving so much on because it's only about 12 quid a kilo, this short rib.
Right.
You put a bottle of red wine.
I like the sound of this.
In a separate pan, and you cook it down till it becomes a bit syrupy.
Yeah.
You brown your short rib, taking it out, cut up onions and carrots. All you're doing is providing a base. You're not going to use them.
Right.
Just to add to the sauce. So you're stirring them around, a bit of tomato paste. And when the wine reduced, you pour the wine in, take it off the heat, put the short rib back in, some good beef stock, and then you just shove it in the oven for about 4 hours. You use a cartouche if you want. A cartouche is just paper, the thing you put on top with a hole in the middle lets some steam out and it stops it evaporating so much. If you don't have one.
Is it like en papillote? Is that where they greaseproof paper around it?
It goes in the centre. It doesn't go with it sits on top of it.
Okay.
Put it in there for 4 hours, take it out, and don't touch it for about 30 minutes. Just let it sit there on the top of the oven with no heat. It will retain the heat inside, and just spoon the sauce over. I actually strain the sauce out. If you want to heat it up a bit, put some of the sauce in a frying pan next door, get it a bit warmer.
Do you pull the bones out at that point, Nick, or you'll serve it or not?
Leave the bones. Short rib is great for doing a bolognese with as well. It makes a beautiful bolognese.
How does that work then, to do a bolognese with it? I don't follow.
Take it off the board and shred it, Chris.
Oh, it's as simple as that? And that's better than like beef mince you buy in the supermarket or whatever, bolognese? Okay.
The Italians, when they do a pasta Genoa, they use brisket and onions, and you cook it for about 7 hours.
I'm starving now. This is no good. I'm absolutely starving. I don't know about you, Lee. I really am. This is ridiculous. Like Pavlov's dog. Talk about food. Yeah, absolutely starving.
Yeah.
I would serve it in a French. I like mine with daf noir. But how I do my daf noir is get yourself a potato cut. Everyone I know's and the mandolins ended up in A&E.
Yeah, chop your fingers off with it. Yeah.
You can hold your potatoes in. It's got grooves in, so they're the same width. That's most important with
different widths of potato.
Butter a dish. I don't have garlic. Some people do. And then I heat my milk before I put it in, and I put a dollop of grain mustard in, so it gives you that warmth. So it just covers. Put it in the oven about 45 minutes when it comes to full tender. And for contrast, I whip up some panko breadcrumbs and sprinkle them all at the end, so you've got that soothing bit and a bit of crunch.
Wow.
Extra.
That's how I would do my short rib with daffodil potatoes. And as we go to French, I might have some beans with it,
Yeah.
borlotti or cannoli beans, just cooked with a thing of lemon and a bit of parsley in. You could eat that whole meal with your spoon, and it's one of those things that will fill you up and make you feel good about the afternoon and day.
Brilliant.
Astonishing stuff, this.
Spectacular.
If this isn't making you hungry
You're
listening
dead.
to this,
You're
there's
dead
something wrong
inside.
with you.
Like Tony McCoy, you're dead inside. Ryan Moore lives inside you.
Yeah.
Dead.
Your colon needs rinsing.
Well, after all that grub,
absolutely.
you need an enema. Backed up for weeks. Tremendous stuff, though.
Yeah, some tremendous stuff there from John and Nick. Totally wasted in racing. Forget racing tips, people. This is what it's all about. Nigella, James Martin, we're coming for you.
Especially Nigella. Yeah, not so much James Martin. Yeah.
We all love a bit of Nigella on this show.
Everybody does.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
One of John's favourites for sure.
I haven't seen it for ages. How old is she now? Must be in a...
She's 60 odd now, isn't she? And you 100% would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably give me a heart attack.
Last time I saw Nigella on the box, I couldn't believe her age. I think she was in her 50s or something. She looks like 35.
Ralph Coates looked older than her when he was 30.
When he was 16, yeah.
Even the old Parrell on the top half aren't going southwest and southeast like most people at that age.
Like dead heat in a Zeppelin race, isn't it? Tremendous.
Honestly, these culinary delights that John and Nick have come with a brilliant first show. We need to finish it off. You've had this wonderful dinner prepared by John or Nick, and it's nice for the sweet tooth amongst us to get involved with a sweet treat at the end of it.
Porkies like us, Lee. Hey, we like a bit of pudding, sweet.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah, we love a bit.
What are we saying in terms of desserts that we think accompany a good Sunday dinner? Now, John, I know you've got a top tip in terms of cheese for our listeners, so I'm going to save you till last. So, Nick, what would you recommend as a really good pud?
I would be quite boring. That would be so rich. I'd probably have a mint or a lemon sorbet afterwards.
No, you fell at the last there, Nick. We want crumbles. We want stods. We don't want mints.
You've weakened on the running. You went 5 clear with the short rib.
He's swinging on the bit. 102 in running.
And then on the running, you've hung left.
After the rich one I gave you, you need palate cleanser.
You have no idea of our capacity, does he, Lee? He's got no clue.
No, treacle, sponge and custard. And if any American listeners are tuning in, why you don't do that, you should be doing that. Treacle, sponge and custard. It's absolutely
tremendous.
If I have a hot treacle sponge, I like cold custard, and I like cold puddings with hot custard.
No, we just eat anything. Yeah, we don't care. Hot, cold.
Absolutely, yeah. It's sweet stuff. Angel Delight, whatever.
Oh, God almighty, that's lovely. Butterscotch. Yeah, man.
Angel Delight by the packet in this house. So Nick likes a sorbet. After he's demolished his short rib, he wants something light to finish. So, John, in your house, if you're not doing the old sweet treat, and I know you do like your sweet treats, but I know you've got a really tremendous piece of advice for our listeners regarding a certain type of cheese.
Yes, and the cheese in question is Saint-Agur, A-G-U-R.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely lovely blue cheese from France. And they now do a blue creme version, which comes in a pot, and you can have as a dip with various things, celery, apple, whatever. And honest to God, when you start dipping red cheese in this cheese mixture, you cannot stop until it's gone. It is delicious.
Strong favourite there.
There's a cheese bar in Covent Garden where cheeses go by and you can pick a one. It's just like a Japanese, they come round in...
Conveyor belt, like sushi, yeah.
Yeah, with different cheeses.
Oh. I'll just say as well, if I was going to have a sweet treat to finish off the Sunday dinner I've described, I'd either go fairly simple with something like a cherries jubilee, stewed cherries with a bit of sugar and possibly a splash of crack and vanilla rum.
Yes, you're strong on that.
Serve that with vanilla ice cream. Or take the same cherries jubilee mixture and put a crumble top on it and have that with...
Yeah, now you're talking. Yeah.
John, have you seen much rhubarb this year? I love a rhubarb. I've hardly seen any rhubarb.
No, I haven't. It's been suspicious by its absence this year. I certainly haven't seen hardly any in the
No.
shops.
No, it's true. It's very true.
I'll tell you something, guys. So, John, obviously, I'm closer to you than the two southern boys down there. The father-in-law, he often has plenty of rhubarb, lots of it, usually. So the next time we get some sent, I shall probably nip up to you
Right.
and bring it you because it's homegrown, so it's the good stuff. No crap.
My favourite crumble of all time is gooseberry. You never see them
No, that you're
anymore.
right. I haven't had a gooseberry crumble for years, but it's fabulous, I think.
Yeah. It's one of the best crumbles in the world.
It's tremendous. Yeah.
Any international listeners are thinking, what is this? What is this? Biltong. It's all about the biltong.
Quite right. It's terrible.
On this note, what a start, chaps. We started the Barstewards for Mental Health, it's a racing podcast. Now we're doing food and cooking. And what a brilliant start from John and Nick in terms of Sunday roast. So please, if you can follow us on YouTube, Cook on Sunday, like and subscribe, comment after the show. We'll try and answer your questions. In fact, all of us will probably check on there on the recipes that were mentioned in terms of if you need any advice. I'm sure that Nick, John, or any of us will try and help you with any of your questions or any of your points. What would you like to see in future shows that we're going to do? So give us ideas for future food content, because I can tell you now, John and Nick have extensive knowledge of many things, and this first show certainly didn't disappoint. So thank you to John and Nick and Chris. That's all from us on Cook on Sunday. Bye for now.